Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GameStack Podcast right here on We Just Love Games Network. I'm your co-host, Vendertron. Joining me this evening, as always, is the lovely Shalene in Houndstooth today. Hello, my dear.
Hello.
You're looking lovely, as always.
Thank
and
you.
We have a very esteemed colleague joining us this evening, Mr. Rick McVick.
Hello.
Rick. Rick,
Hi.
how are you doing? We miss you, buddy.
I know it's been a while. It's been too long.
Where the hell have you been?
Nowhere, really. Same place I've always been. This heaven, really. Look at it. It's just
heaven.
Quite...
Yeah. It's. Are you God? Like what?
For our audio folks, he's in an echoey room with just a blank white expanse behind him.
I didn't realize it's eggshell. Trust me, but I didn't realize how just stark it was. I need.
You're so domesticated. It's eggshell, by the way.
Okay, so
that's what home ownership does to you.
I know he's out there picking plants.
No. I've owned a home. Wait, I've owned a home for 11 years.
True.
But that wasn't anything the home.
It was not the home. But now that we're here, so the other day,
right?
Sarah's like, I got off work, and Sarah's like, let's go shopping. So we're driving to this shopping area, and I was like, home goods. That looks like something that middle-aged
you're not middle-aged
people do. I'm getting there. So we get off, or we go in, and kids with us, and we're walking through, and we're like looking at all this decorum and bric-a-brac that's like, look at this colorful, stupid little frog with the big eyes, and like multicolored. This is stupid.
Tapestries.
And Sarah's like, we'll have to bring your mom here for Mother's Day because she'd love all this stuff. And my mom's got tacky taste. And then after a while, we're like, hey, this is kind of, this is nice. This would look good in this room. And
$500
start
later.
Putting stuff in the car. You're not far off. The glasses, and we got towels, and I got a stand for the bathroom, and
you're all excited.
We're we just love home goods. We need to come back here and spend more money.
It's so dangerous.
And it's, oh my gosh, we've totally hit that. I don't know if I talked about this, but earlier this year or last year, we went to a place called Jim Thorpe in Pennsylvania for our was it 13-year honeymoon? I don't know. One of the anniversaries.
This was the place by the lake or the ocean or whatever, right?
No. This was mountains of Pennsylvania, and beautiful place. But we're walking around, we have some wine, and we're checking out the art shops, and there's a crystal shop, and I giggle at it.
I remember this now. Yeah.
But we were sitting in I don't think I told this in the air, but we were sitting in this winery, and we were sipping the wine, and we look over, and there's all this art, and we're like, oh, that's local art, and we're like, maybe we should buy some. And then I was like, babe, we're the target audience now.
Yeah.
For those people that have money and can buy wine and stupid, we gotta run.
Start the car.
Oh gosh, and it's funny though, because what theme do you want to do the master bathroom? I think beach theme, and I bought a shadow box.
Don't do a beach theme master badge. That's now you're full on.
I bought a
so in
box.
It. You're so in
you
it.
You can
now.
never again make fun of me for drinking a pumpkin spice latte, sir.
Bleach.
Yes. Wait, let me guess. You have words. You have pictures of words everywhere.
No
live, laugh, lesbians or something.
No, nothing. No, but I do have a shadow box of bleached sand dollar fossils on the bathroom wall now, and I like it. It's a problem.
Well,
Shalene, how was your week? How was your week, Shalene?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I had a real decent week. I was incredibly productive at work, and I was proud of myself, and I felt good about myself. And I'm so tired, and I'm really excited that it's the weekend.
I know, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I spent most of the week recuperating from, shoveling 12,000 pounds of clay. I actually had so much left over, and I hired a bobcat to come and remove it because I just didn't want to dig it into the truck and then take it to the dump and dig it out of the truck like that. It's too much. So I just paid the $200, had a bobcat come out, and it was gone in 10 minutes. So
yeah.
But yard stuff looks good, and I've spent the last week sort of recuperating, but getting back to actual work that I have to do for my PhD, which is a lot, but anyways, sounds like you guys had a good week. Rick, we are glad to have you on the show this evening. Don't forget, we are sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you head on over to oakandcrow.com, you can pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every purchase of that blend goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Don't forget to tell your friends about the show. Send them over here on the best little corner of the internet on a Friday evening, every Friday, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. The Discord has been a fun journey this week. And I was thinking, Shalene, we need to start thinking about adding a Starfield channel.
You know what? I was thinking about the same thing just recently. We should do that. We really should.
Yeah. What's going on in the Discord, and how can people join?
You can join the Discord by clicking the link on our Twitch page at twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. That link is live whether or not the show is, so anytime you like. Visit twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. Alternately, shoot us a message on social media and we will get you the link. And I don't really know what's going on in there lately. I've been very busy. But I'm sure it's fun.
Well, it's been Vexinator has been posting pictures of some event that they were at with superheroes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He cosplayed
some sort of conference.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Some new news that Sully is not well and has to get a procedure done, which he hopes is covered under health insurance. So sending him much love and wishing a speedy recovery. Yes, of course. And I am super impressed with our community in posting in the Plant Stack channel. It has been so active this week. Cool. Somebody posted, I think it was Alex, had posted a picture of Grogu with a coffee mug and curlers in his hair. And the meme was me outside at 7 a.m. making sure all my plants are okay.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I was like, that's totally like every morning I'm out there and I'm like, how are you doing?
Yeah, we don't have great sunlight in this little apartment we're living in, so I've got like one succulent. And we're like desperately trying to keep this little guy alive, and Archon will put him outside on the windowsill during the day when I'm at work, and we're just desperately trying to keep this little guy alive.
I killed all of my succulents.
Did you?
What? Yeah. It was only like, where did you put them?
I had them on a shelf in the kitchen. And it wasn't really near windows, so they were not doing so well. So then I stuck them out on the railing and then forgot about them overnight, and they died.
Oh, no.
But we bought like this little tiny tree, named it Mordecai. That's doing very well. And then we have some interesting like fire-looking flowers that are doing okay outside. So
your yard has so much potential.
We have black-eyed Susans popping up too.
You have the coolest yard. It is like the yard of dreams, and I would just be doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
You guys.
I'm just
like fire pit there, hammock there.
Yeah, I have to do that. Yeah.
Pizza oven over there.
I want to tell you guys how tired I am. I almost just made the joke that's houseplants off the record.
Well, we do have some news for you this evening. We have gameplay. We're also going to talk about our stocks. We have, I think, a piece of mail as well as a couple of screenshots to cover as well. But we have a lot to talk about this evening. We should hop into it because the Xbox event happened last weekend, or was it this week sometime?
Last weekend.
Last weekend. So we do have quite a bit to talk about. And I'm going to hand the mic over to Shalene with this just in. All yours, my dear.
Thank you. Well, as always, I'm going to start off with the customary shout out to Joseph Tao. We love you. We really appreciate you putting together the news for us. And this week, this past week would have been E3 if Jeff Keighley had not personally murdered it, just garroted it Agent 47 style in a bathroom somewhere.
Wow.
Just, yeah.
Wait, didn't that actually happen at E3? Is that why they're shut down? No, I'm thinking of Dr. Disrespect. Never mind. Okay.
Yeah, in the bathroom. He was filming underage people in the bathroom while they were trying to pee.
That was a while ago.
Terrible. Is Dr. Disrespect still out there? I haven't heard
Probably,
anything
but who
zany about
cares?
him in a long time.
Who cares?
Yeah,
That's
nobody-
probably a good
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
He's so 2008.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to say it.
That mullet.
2000 and late.
I like that one. That was a good joke.
That's Fergie lyrics.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Fergie lyrics. We're gonna start off with the Capcom showcase. So we're just gonna roll through this. What the announcements were at the Capcom showcase. We got a Dragon's Dogma 2 deep dive trailer. And Dragon's Dogma 2 looks pretty cool. It's very, very much the sequel to a game that's very much a cult classic. I feel like the people who love Dragon's Dogma really love Dragon's Dogma. Personally, I don't know much about it. It looks cool as heck. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy will be coming in 2024. That's Ace Attorney 4, 5, and 6. Those will be HD remasters. This includes Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Dual Destinies, and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. The trilogy will be coming to Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I really do need to play one of these Ace Attorney games. I feel like these would be Shalene games for sure. Exoprimal got a new trailer, a roadmap, and a battle pass.
Looks very cool.
Yeah, this game is about a month away from release. It's coming out on July 14th, and it is a dino hunting game. So we'll see how that goes. A second open beta test is happening right now, June 16th to June 18th. On a previous podcast, we mentioned that Ghost Trick Phantom Detective Remaster would be coming out later this month, and a demo for the game is available now. And this will be releasing on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess got a trailer. It was revealed at the Xbox showcase, and it looks cool as heck. I think this game, the art style is like nothing I've ever seen before. It's looks really, really cool to me. I'm very interested in this game. Rick, what does that look on your face?
I have a bug in my drink.
Ew. That justifies the look.
Did you put that succulent like back outside after it died? Because
I drank it to get over it. Fine.
You're just drinking it anyway.
If it's in alcohol, it's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a little mad. Fine. It wasn't sticking to the finger, you know? Forget it. You know, like we try to like.
I do. Ooh. Yeah. Unfortunately, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Man, it's really nice having the band back together.
I know. 4 fried chickens and a Coke.
What? Oh my gosh. I will have dry white toast, please.
That would be me. I gotta say, I do feel a little out of the loop.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I out you? Can I out you about the thing we were talking about before the show? Yes, I'm going to.
What was
So I asked Rick, we've been skipping the news about the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition because I'm just sick of talking about it, frankly. And I understand it's an important news item that you guys probably want us to cover. I don't care. I'm sick to death of it. But I was on with Rick on the call, and I'm like, hey, Rick, do you care very deeply about this? Like, should I add this in for you to talk about? And he's like, well, what is this all about? I don't know what you're talking about.
I had no idea. I had no idea this giant thing was happening.
Yeah, that's massive news.
Yeah, I had no clue.
Mega Man X Dive Offline will be coming to Steam, iOS, and Android. This is a mobile and PC Mega Man game, and it should be out later this year. So,
cool.
There you go.
Cool. That is our news for Capcom.
Capcom.
That's completely
Cam
different.
is a very different
Completely
show.
different thing.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
Oh, speaking. Okay, so on that note
Yes,
of
I
Cop
love the
Cam,
Rick tangents. Here we go.
this is also pertinent. I forget what it's called, but there was a gameplay teaser for an Unreal 5 game that they're making based off of the chest camera view from Cops. You
Mhm.
play as a
Oh,
cop,
I heard about
and
this.
it's like
Yeah.
insanely good looking. And I know it's just a pre-rendered trailer. I don't think it's actual gameplay, but I'll have to show it to you. It just was one of those things that when you see it, you're like, okay, Unreal 5. I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. If you can actually like make this function, then I'd be happy with it. But it just looks incredibly real, and it's like it just put into like my mind like when we would get games like Call of Duty or like so whatever, we're like, oh my gosh, these graphics are like insane. How could they get any better? And
They
then
will get
and then you
better.
see something and you're like,
Yeah.
It's
okay.
better, yeah.
Or you go back and look at games that you thought were amazing,
You know
even
what?
more
You know
so
what that
than
was for
pixelated
me?
stuff.
It was the Microsoft 2024 gameplay
The flight sim?
the
Right.
trailer.
Yeah, the
Like
flight
I was
sim.
blown away by the graphics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will
Anyways,
definitely get to that.
Oh
excellent.
yeah.
But first, we are going to talk about Ubisoft Forward. There was a 10-minute gameplay trailer for Star Wars Outlaws, which was also revealed at the
I didn't
Microsoft showcase.
see that yet. Dang it. I wanted to see that.
Yeah.
How did it look? Did you watch it?
It looks amazing. It looks really good, Rick. I'm kind of excited. I'm when I found out this was a Ubisoft game, I was immediately more suspicious than I was.
I know.
Okay. But I'm still hopeful. I want it to be good. It looks like it has potential.
Yeah, it does. Are you
Um,
gonna play it? I know that you were a little bit bummed out by Jedi Survivor, Rick. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna play it. And I'll talk about why I was bummed out about Jedi Survivor, and it's
Mhm.
probably not what you're thinking. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna give this one a shot.
Mhm.
I want to see the
So,
gameplay trailer first, though. I didn't see that yet.
Hey, the main character from this game has got this adorable cat-like creature,
Oh, look at it!
named
It's so
Nyx.
cute.
And I love this little guy. I would die for him. I love him. Look at this little
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This looks
I
really
just
good. Is it like an episodic? Do we know if it's like
It's
No,
supposed
I
to be
believe
open
it's going to
world,
be
right?
open world. Yeah.
Mhm.
really?
It's going to be a Ubisoft game, and that's what they do. That's what
Which
they do.
which is fine because we really haven't had an open world Star Wars game.
Absolutely.
Not
Mhm.
really.
Mhm.
So I'm all about it. I think though that they have a lot of eyes on them. A lot of fans
Mhm.
are kind of like,
Yes.
like, okay, we'll see what you're gonna do with what you've got showing us right now, but it better be good because if it's gonna be
Mhm.
like this big promised open world thing and it just ends up being repetitive or
Empty.
or if it even like really screws up canon, or does stuff that's really stupid,
Mhm.
that can really backfire on a company. So
Absolutely.
I really hope that they pull this off well because it
And this is developed by Massive
absolutely.
Entertainment, which of course is the Division studio. So,
Okay, all
we
right.
loved the Division. We loved
Yep.
the Division 2. That makes me a little more hopeful, but
Yeah, I just hope they don't put like I don't think I have to see the gameplay, but it doesn't strike me as a game that would function off of Division mechanics.
Mhm.
So
Right. But the actual living, breathing world of the Division was good.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
it
think
very much
nobody
was.
would argue that.
Yep.
And that is promising for
Especially
sure.
the first Division.
I loved the first Division.
It was great. It was great.
Yeah, so
Snowy
good.
New York.
Mhm. We never did finish the
We need to
Division
play some
2.
games
We
together
need to go.
again.
We do. I
Been a hot
miss
minute.
that.
Like, forget
It's-
about doing the
yeah.
podcast together again. We need to
Screw
play
it,
some
let's just-
games together.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
This, yeah. While we have Rick here, we're just gonna.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go sail or something. Yeah, we'll figure it out. What if we all got installed?
Yeah.
Well, you know what we don't have installed is Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, because that just barely got a release date.
And
It will
won't
be coming
installed.
out on December the 7th, 2023. It sure does look like an Avatar video game. I'm just I'm not interested. Not even a
Really?
little.
No.
No,
I really love Avatar, so I mean,
it's
this is
very
it's
pretty to look
beautiful.
at.
Yeah. I mean, this is the cinematic trailer, of course, but I want to
Well,
see
this
what the
one's
gameplay.
gameplay. That was some in-engine action right there.
Yeah.
I saw this and I saw like the mechs and the guns. I'm like, that's what I want to play with.
Mm-hmm.
I want the mechs. I want the guns, not flying around with bows and arrows.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I might give this a go. I'm not sure.
Definitely let us know. I'm not interested in the world really. If I want to play a game with that aesthetic, I'll play Halo. It's
That's true. You're absolutely right. When I did first see glimpses of this, I was like, oh, Halo? And then I was like, oh, it's
yeah.
hyped up.
Yeah, they actually they were pretty heavily inspired by Halo.
It makes sense.
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown got some more gameplay shown. It is a 2D action Metroidvania, semi-open world. It looks pretty solid. I'm not interested in the art style, but I think it looks like
you saying this.
Very solid game.
Yeah.
I think Tim's gonna love this game. It's gonna be a Tim game.
This is yeah. The characters look cool. It's kind of giving me the Sea of Thieves vibe with the art style.
For me, it's Fortnite vibes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Sea of
strong
Fortnite.
vibes.
Sea of Fortnite.
Sea of
Fort
Fortnite.
C. Fort C.
Fort C.
Seafort.
Seafort. That doesn't sound.
I knew we
nearly as
were
bad
gonna
as
get there
Fort C.
eventually. Fort
Oh
C.
my goodness.
Next.
Assassin's Creed Mirage got some more information, an extended look showing off some stealth-centric gameplay, and it was told that direct combat is a backup solution. So once again, we are focusing on stealth in the Assassin's Creed series, almost like we're an assassin. And I'm kind of excited about that.
Something new and innovative with the Assassin's Creed thing. Stealth.
Play as an assassin. Well, I mean, it's the last few Assassin's Creed games, they've been great video games, but they just haven't been terribly assassin-y.
Yeah.
Because I played some Valhalla and I loved what I played. I was this awesome Viking shield maiden, but rolling up to a beach in a longboat and sacking a village is just not a very assassiny thing to do.
It's still a stealth mission if no one is left alive to talk about
it. That's hilarious. Well, I know. I remember, Shalene, you were saying like this is getting back to the roots of what Assassin's Creed is, and
absolutely,
and the Persian feel of it is, I think, what we both sort of gravitated to when we talked about it previously on the show.
I am very, very drawn to this. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good thing here. I mean, because people want to be badass assassins, right? There's so many games where you could be like an awesome fighter or warrior, but there are very few games that you could be more of a melee style assassin. I mean, they exist, but I mean, that's why Assassin's Creed, I think, was so captivating.
Especially third person stealth. That's not something you see very often. Most of the stealth games that I've played focus on first person action, and it's different. It's very different.
It is, because peripheral, and like the thing I always hated about first person stealth games was peripheral vision doesn't exist.
Yeah,
because like you would like sneak up and then you'd be like, he's right there. And like if you were in real life you would have seen that, but like, so third person kind of, I mean, it goes a little broader obviously because you can see all around you, but
I mean, like, I wish you could play without peripheral, or with peripheral, I mean, sorry.
I mean,
that's your segue. That's your segue.
Field of view, but
I guess does VR come with peripheral vision?
Oh, that'll make you sick.
VR is your peripheral.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It goes wide, so you can kind of like.
Well, if you would like to stab people in the back in a very realistic way without going to jail, you can try out Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is their first foray into VR. And it features a 3-pronged story featuring a trio of returning characters. Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed. What was the last one called? The last Ezio game?
I don't know.
I
I think we
can't
know who
remember.
Etsy is.
Anyway, Ezio Auditore, Assassin's Creed Odyssey's Cassandra, and Assassin's Creed 3's Connor. The game takes the stealth assassination gameplay and brings it to a first-person perspective where players will still be able to use the hidden blade, sword, smoke bombs, bow, and more. This will come to the MetaQuest 2. It does not have a release date, and this feels kind of Dishonored-y to me. It's definitely, watching this trailer feels
I
a
mean,
little
the problem
Dishonored-y.
with VR in games like this is that nobody can actually stay in one spot. You
Mhm.
literally need to have like a 30 by 30 foot room that is padded on walls and floor, with no furniture, and nobody has that kind of space. But yeah, I would like there to be I'd like to be able to play this sitting at my computer with the headset on, but using my mouse and keyboard.
Yes.
Or just to be sitting with the controllers.
Mhm.
Right?
I mean, that's why Squadrons was cool, because it was like a Star Wars flying game that you play VR and you could just sit there and like look around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I do beg to differ, Vendor. You buy a house and then put no furniture in it for 4 months, you have great places to play VR.
Ooh, there's a
I
good
mean,
point.
I was
Just
yeah,
don't
so there you
buy
go.
any furniture.
Don't buy any
Yeah,
furniture.
yeah.
Problem solved. You save
Yeah.
money. You have space to play VR.
Like if I wasn't
Excellent.
going to turn my basement into a workshop, it'd be perfect for VR, because like I was playing Blade and Sorcery in the living room, and it was just so nice to like swing the sword around and not really worry about what's around me, and it was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
So I just want to
But I
briefly
agree.
shout out Van Sylvan in the chat, says more Rick, more Rick, more Rick. And I would like to just let you know, Rick, that we have experienced these requests for more Rick on a very regular basis.
It's basically on every show. Yeah.
Yes. And I realize that we haven't been telling you, but the people really would like more Rick in their lives.
Mhm.
So
Well, pay me.
I actually contemplated that for a moment. I was like, how much of my student stipend can I send to Rick on a weekly basis?
Wave of $5. You know what I really want?
We're gonna have to actually monetize the show.
No, I was thinking about this the other day. I miss your Canadian care packages.
I do too. Yeah, I do too.
I had to throw my Canadian ceramic mug away.
What happened?
Did you break it again?
No. First of all, the post office, Shalene broke it. I did not break it that first time. But what had happened was I picked it up out of the cupboard and it felt really gritty. And then I looked at my hand and it was black because the paint.
Oh, it's a cheap mug.
Was all just coming off.
And I'll send you a new one.
I ran it under the sink to try to get the grit off, and then it just kept coming.
Oh,
Dang it!
Yeah,
What
that's not great.
happened?
It's just, I
Not
guess
great.
the glazing just deteriorated. I mean, dude, that thing's old, man. That's at least 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, but coffee mugs are like, they withstand like a nuclear winter. Like,
But
people have
maybe
coffee
kind of
mugs in
ruined
their
it.
house from like 60 years ago. And you just have all this mix mash of coffee mugs. You all know.
Oh yeah, but I mean, those mugs made 60 years ago had like asbestos in the glazing.
Yes, you can't get them like that anymore.
No, and these new mugs have glazing that's California okay, which
organic.
And they're just gonna melt in like 2 years. But,
yeah,
but
or
no, I was
gold
really bummed. I
trim,
was
and
like,
then you put them in the microwave, and the whole house.
Yes, did I show you those dishes that I bought for my new apartment?
No.
Archon was so annoyed
the black
because
and
they
white
have a
ones.
gold trim. They have a gold trim. He's like,
you can't microwave them.
Yes.
Nice. See, stoneware.
Geez.
You can microwave it. You can do anything you want with it.
Stoneware.
So moving right along.
Right.
I realize that we don't have time to cover every one of these games. So we're scrolling forward to Skull and Bones. We're getting a closed beta in August 25th through August 28th. And maybe this game will be a game someday. I don't know.
Well, okay. So I don't know. Did you watch the Skull and Bones thing on the Ubisoft thing? Because
I haven't.
They basically released a sea shanty. It's called Skull and Bones. And for our
Okay.
audio listeners, it's performed by a band called Home Free. Song is available on most digital platforms, but um, yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily a trailer per se, but um, yeah,
This game's too late.
It's
it's.
It,
I
just
it's
mean,
it,
they're
they missed the
yeah,
boat. They missed the boat.
they
They missed
missed the
the boat.
boat, did they?
it's a
Yes.
I think
great.
so. I mean, everyone was hyped up on like, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and then Sea of Thieves came out, and then Skull and Bones, and everyone's like, that's cool because for those of us that want a more realistic piratey game, like this is gonna be great. And then cut to what, 7, 8 years later?
But it was
Here's a
supposed
teaser
to be
trailer.
it was supposed to be realistic piratey game in like the Sea of Thieves vibe, but then they switch gears to it being like a Sid Meier's Pirates kind of style. Um and I think they lost a lot of steam and hype around it based on that. But
Wait a minute. Is it still like third person? You sail your boat and
it's
It's basically the ship combat segment of Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
yeah, that's basically what
but
it
you
is.
can't like can you board other people's ships?
No, it's like a shoot other ships and sail to different ports and top down kind of thing. Yeah, you're not in a first person
Well,
sort
I
of
didn't ever
scenario
expect
where
it to be
you're.
first person. I thought it was just like you were third person and can run around. But that's stupid.
They would win over hearts and minds if they stuck with their original plan of having like a
Mm-hmm.
ship that you could run around on and like engage in combat and do all of these crazy things. But I mean, that those are big dreams. But
Indeed.
Cool, they ruined it. Good job. Good
Poor
job,
Skull and
Ubisoft.
Bones.
So there was also a Wholesome Games Direct showcase. They showed a ton of games. In one of them, you have a capybara companion, which I thought was pretty exciting. But this is just, it's a million games, and we don't have time for that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get down to the brass tacks. This is what we've all been waiting for, I think, in my opinion, what the three of us have been waiting to chat about anyway. The Xbox Showcase slash Starfield Direct. I watched this the day it came out. I was a little late watching it,
Me too.
but I remember immediately just starting to message you guys about all the things I thought you would love, and I can't wait to chat about this with you guys.
This is
We're
some good
going
stuff.
to start off with Fable. Fable was the first thing that was shown. And I've been wanting Fable for a long time. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I'm a little nervous because it is not Lionhead Studios anymore. It's a new developer. It won't be the same. It won't be the same, but it might still be awesome. And what do you guys think about Fable?
I thought it looked like a Fable trailer,
It
right?
really did.
And the fact that Richard Ayoade, I can't pronounce his last name, I'm sorry. But he was the giant, and
Mm-hmm.
he's from the IT crowd. But the fact that he's kind of voicing the trailer, and I'm kind of hoping he VOs the game like they had John Cleese VO one of the other games.
Yes.
I think that's good because he's very funny. He's a very comical British actor in the realm
Mm-hmm.
or in the vein of John Cleese. And it looked like a good game. I like the idea that heroes are kind of like, why do we need you anymore?
Uh-huh.
Washed up old hacks, and that makes me excited.
And
Uh,
the idea of the surprise at the end of the trailer of him being a giant
mhm.
was just so ridiculous. I
Yeah.
loved that.
So I hold hopes for
Mm-hmm.
something that's not a cinematic trailer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this was a fun thing. Hey, we're getting another Fable. Hopefully, it's
Mm-hmm.
good.
Yeah. I definitely think I have some hope.
Mhm.
And this next game that was shown really got me. They sucked me in with this trailer. South of Midnight. This is from Compulsion Games. They're the studio who did We Happy Few.
Mm.
And South of Midnight appeals to me so strongly. I was more excited about this trailer than I was about the Fable trailer, and I've
Really?
100%ed the last two Fable games. Yes, I seeing that old blues man playing his guitar and the feeling of making a deal with the devil at the crossroads, and this protagonist who was doing some kind of magical situation. It was exciting to me. I thought it looked like so much fun. I thought it looked like such a neat setting. And I want the soundtrack for the whole game to be blues. If the soundtrack to this game is blues,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I will give them all my money. Please.
Yeah, I think
Take the money.
I think this is like a neo flavor of Fallout genre that we're seeing. I love the idea of the blues, and I love this sort of darker sort of backdrop. Yeah, I think
This is it's tapping into some of the folkloric aspects of the Deep South.
Yes.
The superstition and folklore of the Deep South, and I think that it's very rich material for fiction that is just overlooked, very strongly overlooked.
You're right.
I really love the art style, though. If you notice, it's kind of got a little bit of a stop motion sort of feel to it. Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Other than Hunt, which takes place in a bayou, which really even doesn't touch on Southern superstition.
It's got a bit of that feeling, but
yeah, but it's not like actual lore superstition. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this game. And the other thing I wanted to point out too was Daddio 483 in the chat says about Fable that it's going to be available on Game Pass. That's the other thing about this, is that all these games, available on Game Pass.
We don't have to buy them to try them if we have a Game Pass membership.
That's super, super cool.
So we don't have to take a risk to we don't have to invest. We don't have to take a monetary gamble to decide.
That's a huge thing, because has Sony done something similar?
They do have a thing, I think.
But with their showcase, are they going to say all of these games are available at a reduced or whatever for the PS, whatever? No. So it's nice to see that that competition coming back. Cool. Yeah.
Daddy brings up another good point. He has plenty of room now without all those game boxes and game discs cluttering up his house. It's a good point. Star Wars Outlaws. We already chatted about that.
I'm sorry. I'm still rolling the B-roll with the Ford ads and stuff. Sorry.
33 Immortals, I thought looked really interesting. It is a co-op game in which you play with 32 other players. It's like a roguelike situation, but it's co-op and you play with all of those other people. And I don't know how it's going to work. It seems... Yeah,
I thought this too was very odd of a game. Like, it seems like it's going to be fun streaming fodder for a while.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
And then it'll be one of those things that sort of
Among Us. It'll
dies
be like
out, like
probably.
Crab Game, Among Us.
I'm really interested
Fall
to
Guys.
see how this goes.
Yeah.
I
was kind of like taken aback. I'm like, what? 32 players? That's insane.
They also had a trailer for Payday 3, which sure looks like Payday 3.
Dude, I tried Payday 2 and I just didn't get it. Like, I was like, I don't know. I wanted to play the movie or the game version of the movie Heat, and just this wasn't it for me.
If you liked Payday 2 or Payday 1, you'll probably like Payday 3. I'm not here for it. Not here for it. I'm just laughing at Sully in the chat. Don't need any Ford ads. I don't like walking that much.
There's nothing wrong with Ford.
There's everything wrong with Ford.
Two of us drive Fords.
My Ford has been the most reliable vehicle I've ever owned in my entire life.
Yeah.
More than my Mini Cooper.
Oh dear.
Even though I loved my Mini Cooper more.
Oh, my Mini's is nothing but problems.
Yeah. They're so cute.
I'm not defending it.
Cute little cars.
I'm not defending it.
Avowed was shown. This is Obsidian's next big RPG. It is somewhat Elder Scrolls like. The comparison is inevitable. I think it looks really cool. Really, really cool.
The only thing I didn't like about it was the art style. It's a little more cartoony than I
Yeah.
wanted. A little more cartoony than I wanted.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Like Outer Worlds. It was very much in
Mm-hmm.
that same kind of soft edge vibe, if
Right.
that makes sense.
Right.
Like rounded corners and things. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just I'm certainly gonna play it, but
Why is there um ash children of like Pompeo in it? Like, what's going on here? Is this the right trailer? Oh, it is
yeah.
Obsidian. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see
Obsidian.
I see lava, flames, and death. I
Yeah.
automatically think that this game is going to be really good for Tim. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's
I
totally
think he would
different than
take
what
that
I
as a
expect.
compliment for
Oh,
sure.
yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That he makes you think of lava, flames, and death.
Yeah.
Daddy points out he's like, Outer Worlds is good. I've only played it once. I didn't find much replay value in it, personally. But I am definitely gonna play Avowed because I mean, who doesn't want another, high fantasy, expansive game in their life?
I
Yeah.
mean, it's an
Yeah.
Obsidian RPG. These people know how to make RPGs.
They do.
And I thought it was really funny. Somebody in their comments or in their social media chat somewhere posted kind of a snarky comment to Obsidian being like, is there even dialogue in this game? And the whoever was running Obsidian's social media posted just the logo Obsidian.
Like dialogue is what we do. Have you
Yes.
tried New Vegas? Have
I
you?
thought that was such a mic drop moment. I loved it. Loved it.
I really love when people get owned like that on social media,
Mhm.
especially in the gaming community, because there is this inherent sense of entitlement that people have about games, that whole teams of people spending millions of dollars developing these works of art, and then you have some asshat like, is there even dialogue?
Mhm.
No,
Go
silent
back
movie.
go back to your bag of Cheetos, okay?
Yeah.
So
So
the game's
funny.
in Braille.
Just put the logo. It's an Obsidian game, bro. Have you
They
forgotten who
they
you're
do
talking to?
dialogue so well.
They really, really
They
do.
really do.
And this next piece, I wish that I had you guys like on the call while we were watching this. I really regretted that we didn't set up the watch party like we usually
We
do
should
for
have.
these.
We should have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is getting a Monkey Island crossover.
Real quick.
Now,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I apologize. When was Lucasfilms involved in
This
in
is
Sea of
new.
Thieves?
This is new.
Monkey Island. Lucasfilm is the Monkey Island developer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes, the
weird.
Monkey Island games.
Yeah.
From back in the day, those old point and click adventure games.
So Sea of Thieves.
See, I
Sea of
didn't know it was a
Thieves,
crossover.
right? So
okay.
Yes.
Sea of Thieves got the Disney partnership with Pirates,
Right.
and
Mhm.
now they're
Oh.
now they're moving up. They've got Lucasfilms partnership, right?
That's
Yes.
smart.
I
Okay.
was so just boggled when I saw that Lucasfilm logo come up, Rare and then
Yeah.
Lucasfilm. I was like,
Huh?
what? And I was like, are there going to be, is there a
Sea
Jedi
of Star
ship
Wars?
set?
I was waiting for a sunken Millennium Falcon like to come up
Yes!
out of the water or something weird. Yeah.
And then when I saw Monkey Island, it all made sense. I was like, oh, yes.
See, I never played any of the Monkey Island games.
I
so.
didn't either, but they look fantastic, and I think this crossover looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be great.
It'll give us a new area, it will give us new story content, and I'm excited to check it out. This is a free update to the game. It will be available to play on July 20th, and
That's
I
right
really
around
want
the
to play this.
corner.
Yeah,
We should definitely do the story of this. I think that would be fun to do together.
I would love to.
Oh, yeah,
I would
absolutely.
absolutely love
Yeah.
to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I do want to watch the rest of this, but I know that we have more to do. So
And this next one was when I started texting vendor. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 got
Immediately thought of vendor.
a new trailer. There's all kinds of new stuff in there, including at the end a Dune expansion where you can fly a Thopter from the Dune series. And I'm never going to
Thopter.
play flight sim, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to have vendors stream this for me so that I can experience the thopter.
Have you?
It's yeah. Go ahead, Rick.
No. Continue, because that was going to take
Well,
us off topic.
Shalene, you remember when I had first played Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and I was so blown
Yes.
away and I said, the only thing that I wish that this had was some sort of career element to it. Like I wish that
Yes.
I could have a company that like does chartered flights or be a commercial pilot and they have gone full throttle with this in
Mm-hmm.
that you could fulfill every aviation role that is out there, whether it's working for the military or flying choppers over the seas or being a commercial pilot or a private chartered plane or, all of this
Prop
stuff.
duster.
Crop dusting, for God's sakes. Like it's crazy. Um this is definitely very cool and I'm excited to see how like rescue missions, mountain
Yeah.
rescue. Um and they've definitely beefed up the graphics too. Like the graphics in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 were good. This is going to be amazing.
It
Yeah,
So
looks
I
so
immediately
good.
thought of you when I saw this. I was like, oh my gosh, Bender's
I
going to
am
be
super excited. I
super
haven't
happy.
played a lot of Microsoft Flight Sim because my computer is aging,
Mm-hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
really struggling with the new updates now. And so this is gonna be a build a new PC kind of era
Mm-hmm.
for me with Microsoft Flight Sim and Starfield coming. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's not gonna be good.
I
Yeah,
really
I'm
want to
I'm
watch
running
you
out of
stream this
performance.
game. I really do.
Sure,
I want to go on
absolutely.
flights with you.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
real quick, did either of you watch the new Dune?
Yeah, I
Yes.
loved it.
It's
Okay,
awesome.
Loved
so
it.
I was trying so hard to find the clip of like when the one army is prepping to go to war, and it's like the dude doing the Tubian throat thing, like
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah. Because
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was such good sound design, and I and I thought that I found the right video, and I was wondered why it was titled Hamburger. So I clicked it, and all they did was overdub that line with hamburger, hamburger, cheeseburger, hamburger. Like, oh my god, no. That's what it is.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's so good. That is so good. Um,
Continue on. I just have to step away for
yes,
like 1 minute.
Carry on, we'll be fine.
Yeah, my PC is on it's not on its last legs, but I can see its last legs from there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm on DDR3 RAM. My
Mm-hmm.
chipset's like 4 generations behind.
Yeah.
It's Call of Duty is a slideshow. Like it can play it,
Wow.
but it just can't. Like the processor, I think, is the bottleneck. Even though it's technically in spec, it
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's real bad, and it's a
Mine gets
problem.
super hot whenever I play games on it. So it heats up the whole apartment.
I is it the one that you when did you build that?
No, this one is the newer one. The one it's this isn't the one that you helped me build.
Well, right.
Um,
I knew that you'd done another one. You didn't build it, you just
I didn't build it. I ordered it
okay.
pre-built. Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is
Yeah.
from 2018, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna
So,
do yet, because I mean it's to to build out like a new rig, I would need to get a new Mobo and
mm-hmm.
everything. And so what in the world is that? Oh, it's a new
Look at this beautiful
motherboard.
thing.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yes, this is the NZXT
Yeah.
N7Z690, whatever the hell that means.
Nice.
But it's fancy and it fits in my new PC case. These are the only two pieces that I have. I still have to buy everything else. So.
So you're working on it. Yeah, it's a process.
I got to talk to Sarah about it, because it's like I'm starting to feel it, like before, like because like I was on 1080p monitor, I didn't have a widescreen or 4K or
Mm-hmm.
anything, so like I could still play everything just fine.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to the point where the processor in the RAM is starting to get a little chunky, and
Yeah.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's an old rig. I mean, the last time I upgraded it was FOTR days when my rig went down.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
what,
It
that
literally
had to have been
caught
six
fire.
years ago.
It literally caught fire, that
Well, that was the
machine.
console. That was the console.
Ah,
The
right.
console melted, but the machine, it was the motherboard died, and I forget
Mm-hmm.
how long ago it was, but I mean, it had to have been what, 6 years ago now, something like that,
At least
maybe
6 years.
more. And so that's what I've just been running on since. since that
Wow.
is what I've been running on.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
been a
I'm still
minute.
running on my PC from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're still running the show. It's running on it right now. And I've for you, you must know, I've got Astroneer running in the background, so Jess and Hobbit can play Astroneer on my local server.
Oh,
Oh, I
So
love that. I love that.
it's
nice.
a good PC. But
Well, we
yeah,
have gone incredibly
I'm
off
sorry.
track.
It's
It's
Microsoft
It's
what?
Flight
fine.
Sim.
That's what
Not
we
gonna run it.
do. That's what we
What's the
do.
next thing you got?
Yeah. Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. The first Hellblade was
Disturbing.
Perfect.
remarkable. It was a remarkable game.
It's
And
perfect.
now that they have a budget to make another one, I feel like I'm gonna have to have Archon like sit with me while I play it because I'm gonna be that bothered.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's going to be that good, Shalene.
You don't?
No,
Why?
because they've got a budget.
Because they've got a budget.
Yes. Yeah, it's like okay, the reason like old movie about sci-fi was super cool is because you saw the strings coming down from the camera top into the paper plate that was the flying
Mm-hmm.
saucer. And the reason it was so good was because they just kind of flew by the seat of their pants and they were just kind of like, all right, whatever. I don't doubt that it's not going to be good, but the problem is the first one was perfect.
It
And
was.
it's not going to be that good.
I
It's not going
did
to be as good as
wonder
the first
about
one.
that. Like,
Yeah,
season 1 of Westworld was this perfect thing. And then season 2 was like, why does this exist?
Yeah.
I'm all about another Senua existing. I'm just nervous. I'm gonna
Yeah.
play it by
Oh,
far. I mean,
yeah.
it's but I'm worried that there's going to be crafting. I'm worried there's going to be a freaking leveling system and then weapons you can equip.
I
Mm-hmm.
I
don't
don't
know.
want that.
I
I
think
don't
they're
want
going
that.
to stick to what worked. I think they're
I
going
hope
to
so.
yeah, I think that's
I
what's
really
going to
do.
happen, but it's just going to be a different story, right?
That's what I'm hopeful for
Yeah.
is more of that, but new locations
Mhm.
and new journeys and personal growth for Senua.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I don't mind new abilities because like you did get new abilities in
Yes.
Hellblade, but you kind of stumbled on them. It wasn't like now you can press R to do the mirror thing because like it was like in the middle of there was one part where I was working through it was like a canyon of like hell and
Mm-hmm.
you're
I
fighting
remember.
demons and I hit R accidentally and it did this mirror thing and I was like what was that? That's a new thing
Mm-hmm.
I could do. Cool, great, and so yeah, I'm reserved about this one.
Now, part of what made this game so amazing was Melina Jurgen's
Yes.
acting. Her acting was just
Right.
incredible,
Yeah.
Mhm.
incredible.
Yeah.
And of course, she's back. So there is that.
Mhm.
I feel like at the very least, we will enjoy that part.
Yeah.
But the gameplay was also very special in Hellblade.
Mhm.
That adaptive difficulty was occasionally so hard. It was this perfect storm because
They did
it
such a
knew
good job.
just how to challenge you. It was, yeah, it was really good. It was
They
really
did
good.
such a good job. You're kicking butt, killing monsters, and your confidence is welling, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
I have got this. And there's that split second where you go, oh,
I
I
don't
don't,
got
and then you're
this.
done. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just they did it so very well. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the gameplay was, gosh, Hellblade was so good.
And I
Hellblade
think I
was
said it
so good.
And I think I said it before. That was like one of the first games that made me feel emotionally attached, where there was the one part where you had to cross the bridge and there were shield
Mm-hmm.
guys in your way. And you're just like, and you just,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got
Well, and
so
we
emotional.
talked at quite some length about
Mm-hmm.
the metaphorical aspects of the game
Yes.
around mental health, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was definitely it was our GameStack game of the year that year.
Yes, it
Um,
was. Yep.
and well deserved.
Yep.
So we'll
Yeah.
see what we
This
get out
and
of
this
the
is a
sequel.
prestigious this is a prestigious award that they received, they never
Yes.
received.
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was the next thing that was shown, and it was really funny going from this very heavy, very dark, world of Senua's Saga to this zany dude on the beach with no swim trunks and
Oh
strategically
yeah.
positioned bits of set dressing like that Austin Powers scene. It was so silly. It was so silly. I think these games just look so funny. I want to play one someday, but I don't know if I'll enjoy them, but they're very funny.
I was thinking about something. I was watching this, and like I think one of the mini Persona like offshoots had
Hmm.
popped up, and the screen was like busy. There was all text everywhere. It was very odd voiceover, and
Hmm.
like, and after it was done, I looked at Sarah. I was like, I don't think I'll ever understand Japanese video games. Like, I just
Yeah.
don't think I'm ever gonna get them. And watching this trailer, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm funny. It's funny, but I just don't get it. I'm happy for the people that
Right.
are like, this is my jam, but whew,
Right.
that was the thing.
And our next one was some Fallout 76 news.
Mm-hmm.
This is the trailer was great. The trailer was really, really good.
They
Really
know
like
how
the
to make a
trailer.
trailer.
These people know how to make a trailer.
They
Oh yeah,
do.
yeah.
Fallout 76 will be going to Atlantic City. And it has since been confirmed that this is an expedition and not an expansion,
Mm.
which I found very disappointing.
So it's gonna
But
be like fast traveling
it'll
to.
be like the pit,
Yeah.
basically.
Okay.
There have been some discussions from people that I consider reputable that suggest it's going to be more than the pit expansion was. There's going to be a little more story involved and a little more ability to wander and experience the location than was present in the pit expansion. And I hope that that's true. Um, I want to hang out in a casino in Atlantic
I was
City.
just
I
gonna
mean,
say, is there gonna be a
yeah.
lot of like gambling and
Hmm.
casinos and is it gonna be New Vegas remake? Like, come on.
I don't think we can hope for that much, but I will be happy if I can explore the new location in a more meaningful way than the pit. So we'll see how that goes. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm a little burnt out with Fallout 76 right now. I'm burnt out with it. I haven't played in several weeks. Yeah.
Could it be
So
Legend of Zelda?
that's part of it for sure. Yeah, is the Zelda addiction. But
I don't remember when I uninstalled 76, but I really haven't missed it, even with like the pit update. I just, again, Fallout for me, they're right in the sense that Fallout is about the stories that we make, but it's also about the stories that we make inside of the stories they give us.
mhm.
And one of the wonderful experiments that 76 was the blank slate in which we tell the story, and then they put a story in it with Wastelanders that we could then be a part of. And I thought that was excellent. The problem was, in my humble opinion, that they didn't keep that going with the game boards or like the seasons as it was. I forget what they
Mm-hmm.
called them.
Seasons.
The seasons. There was no story elements with it. It wasn't like, not even a text like every 5 levels or every 10 levels, there was like a part of the story that corresponded with what you were doing. And yeah, the pit did get a story and it was a new location, but you're right. It didn't seem like it was going to be enough time to really explore it without constantly grinding it over and over again to really kind of get all the nooks and crannies in. And the part of Fallout that I missed was the exploration. And I don't know, man. I feel like they're just letting this kind of, I don't know. It just my hope is the reason it's been such lack of big content and expansions for 76 is because the teams are busy working on the groundwork for the next Fallout, because it is almost 8 years
Mm,
on since Fallout 4.
nope.
You don't think so?
Nope, they're not. They're working on Starfield and they're working on Elder Scrolls.
All
Which one
hands
is
on
it now?
deck.
6?
Six.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we're not
for,
going to see another Fallout for quite some time.
I
Yeah.
forgot about Elder Scrolls 6.
That's if we see another Fallout at all.
Oh, of course we will. I think we absolutely will see another Fallout,
Fallout.
but
50.
it's going to be like 2020, 2023. It's 2023
I'm gonna
now.
need to build another
2035.
computer.
Yeah, it's going to be
after
like
this
2035 before we get another Fallout. So we're
2035,
gonna
I'll
be old. We'll be doing this show from the
I'll
retirement
still be
community.
doing my PhD.
mean, dude, if you're still doing your PhD in like the 2030s, I'm gonna start wondering if you've been lying to us this whole
Yeah,
More
time.
degrees
yeah.
than a thermometer by that point.
You're
Oh my
just living in your
goodness.
mom's basement. Wow, the meatloaf.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
just
yeah.
this, psychedelic PhD. When are you supposed to get that thing anyway?
My goal is August 2024.
Okay,
That's
cool.
good. That's not
You
so
haven't
far
been
off.
on since last, but I did pass my candidacy exam.
Ooh,
And
good. I don't know what that
that
means,
was
but I'm
in
sure that's
January.
good.
So it's the hardest exam. It's harder than the thesis defense at the end of the
Okay.
degree.
Okay.
It's the we're going to put you through 3 to 4 hours of grueling questions in an oral face-to-face exam about your proposed research and determine whether or not you're competent. So
Mhm.
That's brutal,
I
dude.
barely scathed by. I do have some requirements that I have to meet by the end of August. So,
Sheesh.
but
dude.
anyways, yeah. So that's the update.
Forza Motorsport will be launching in
Mm.
October. So I don't really
Are you
really
gonna?
care.
You're gonna. You and your boss. It's like your special time, right?
Me
Mhm.
and my boss,
Or your colleague.
my coworker. I mean,
you
does play racing games. I'm more of the I'm a big fan of the more technical side of racing games. So like
Right.
Forza Horizon was okay, but I wanted more circuit racing, and so this is speaking of
Yeah.
the heart.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Persona 5 Tactica will be coming out on November 25th.
that was the game I was
It was
talking
one
about.
of many Persona games that was shown.
Yeah, the Tactica was the one I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
Mm-hmm. They did give us a little trailer for Starfield before the Starfield Direct began. We're not going to dive in yet. We're going to wait until we get to that part.
Mhm.
This really cool mountain climbing game was shown called Jusant.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a mountain climbing
You
simulator.
asked for this vendor
It looks
like
so
6 years
cool.
ago.
I've
looked really
asked for
neat.
it like every year since 6 years ago. So
It's definitely climbing more than hiking. But I thought it looked really fun.
but is it like mountain climbing with zombies like they always do? Like
No, there are no zombies. No,
It
he's
looked-
he's a climber.
I love
it-
this. I'm gonna play this.
It looked like
Mhm.
the core mechanic from this trailer. It looked like the core mechanic was where to put your anchors and where to
Mhm.
go.
It reminded me pretty strongly of the climbing segments in games like Assassin's Creed and Uncharted, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
So,
I love these kind of. I've recently got into Death Stranding, which
Really?
is very mountainy, and I love it, and it's fantastic. But look at this! This is so great. I
and
love
this
this.
is another game with an
this, like,
adorable
Inca
sidekick
sort of feel.
creature.
Yes.
He's got in his backpack some kind of an adorable little slug. I love him. Look at that little guy.
I
Love him.
definitely want to play this. Yeah, I like the art style too.
Yeah, it looks intriguing and mysterious, and I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Still Wakes the Deep looked pretty spooky. This game is coming from the Chinese Room, and it is a first-person horror game set on an oil rig.
This looks interesting.
I thought it looked very compelling. I thought it looked like the kind of horror game that I want to play.
That you want to play?
Yes, I feel like this is something I could stick with. I feel like I could make it through this one. But
Well, let's
you
hope
look
it's only
very
3 hours long.
you look very rude, Rick. Rude.
Rude. I think
Harsh
that
but
you
fair.
see in my face the truth.
Harsh but fair. Okay.
I think you see in my face the truth that the first boo, you're gonna be like, I'm done.
Speaking of, do you think you would like to return to Survival Horror Sunday sometime?
At some point,
I see where you're going with this plan, Shalene. Get him
Yeah.
into Survival Horror Sundays, and
No,
then
the only-
bam, back on the show.
the only difficult thing is, all right. So what was good about before was my gaming PC was always in my studio.
Right.
Now my gaming PC is in the middle of a living room,
Right.
and so it's a bit more difficult.
What are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
understand.
Why is it
Yeah.
like what? Get it together.
Because our entire first floor is completely open with no walls, and we have a gaming corner.
Mm-hmm. But Still Wakes the Deep looks cool. I realize that I've taken us way off track and we're planning stuff
Things.
instead of
Yeah.
Dungeons of Hinterberg. I don't have much to say about this. This is a dungeon crawling RPG situation where you're in like Germany, like folkloric Germany. It's odd. It looked odd to me, but yeah. Keanu Reeves was back. He didn't call us breathtaking this time, but he showed off the Cyberpunk 2077 expansion featuring Idris Elba. He sounded very excited to be starring in the same game as Idris Elba. So I thought that was pretty cute. He kind of fangirled about Idris Elba.
He's so weirdly awkward.
Isn't he?
That's what makes him so
it's so
great.
endearing.
Yeah.
Because at the end, he's like, here we go. And then he just... I was like, how long are they going to stay on him until they fade? And then he just walked off. Okay.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of this? You guys have both played some Cyberpunk. Tell me
well,
more.
I played it through in its entirety. And
oh, did you beat it?
So you both have.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I didn't know you beat it.
Yeah, very good.
What ending did you get?
I don't remember. I didn't side with, what's her name? Panera?
Panam. Yeah. Never bread.
I can't stand her. I can't stand her character. I just want to like.
Judy was the best.
Judy was the best. Judy is yes, but I think Judy makes a better lesbian than a straight woman. So. I kind of left Judy alone, and I actually didn't romance anybody. So
okay.
I don't know what storyline I took, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're doing a complete overhaul of this game, by the way.
Oh, really?
They're changing the way that you level, the way that you allocate skill points, the way that cyberware is installed and what it does. So one of the biggest problems lore-wise in this game is that if you install too much Chrome, i.e. cyberware, you go into cyberpsychosis and lose your mind. But the thing is your character could just dump all this Chrome on and you'd be fine. They're changing that. So the more Chrome that you put on or cyberware mods that you put on, it actually will do negative things to you now.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can
have to
level
pay a price.
Yes, you can level up. That now cyberware is now a skill. They're changing the way melee systems work. You can now like block bullets with your blade, your katana and stuff. But the biggest thing is the entire skill system is being completely overhauled. And they are also adding in vehicle combat, police chases, gangs chase you.
So with that, I hope comes better driving of the vehicles.
Better,
because holy Christ, in a handbasket, is that ever bad?
It's bad. It's so bad. And like I only used motorcycles because it was the only thing that made sense with that handling because the cars were so
it was so bad I even tried to use it with a wheel to try to make it better, but it actually just made it worse. My car just went in circles.
It's so bad.
So
it is it is so stupid. So yeah, they're and the other thing is clothing is not armor. Clothing is just clothing. And the only thing that is armor is actual armor. And so Daddy is also saying let's see, I'm just looking here, no more buying cars from fixtures. That's interesting. So I started playing it the other day because I was like, I just want to play a little bit. Then I realized, I'm not going to play it until Phantom Liberty comes out, and you can, because I'm just going to start from scratch. I just want to see what the new system is like. But I'm very excited for it, and I'm curious to see how it fits into canon, if this happens before the ending or if it happens after the end of the game. I have a feeling it's going to happen before the ending, personally.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to skip forward several games because this is a long list, and we're going to talk about BioShock 4. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean Clockwork Revolution. This is coming from In Exile. And it looks really cool. It's you can't watch this though and not be reminded of BioShock Infinite.
BioShock Infinite 2. This is, I'm sure.
I mean,
is there nobody?
There was even the character was Daisy Fitzroy, right? The player character was dressed like Daisy Fitzroy.
Is there anyone on In Exile that was from Infinite? Like there has to be.
I don't think so. I feel like they acted like they were very shocked that people were comparing it to BioShock Infinite, and I was like, really, guys? Really? my dudes. Let's be real.
Like, nobody forgot about Bioshock Infinite. It was a thing that happened and people still remember it. So
It wasn't that long ago,
Yeah.
friends. And this
Yeah.
trailer, it looked so incredibly like the trailer for Bioshock Infinite. I mean, and the character was dressed like Daisy Fitzroy. I can't even. But the game does look incredible. It has got this very steampunk art style. And they have added, I guess. I'm talking like it actually is Bioshock Infinite 2. But this game incorporates a time travel mechanic that I think will make it something special. Time travel is pretty underused in games, and it is occasionally done very badly. But I think In Exile is they've got such RPG credibility. I feel like I trust them to make it work. And I've been waiting to see what they would do with their Microsoft money. And I'm definitely going to try out Clockwork Revolution. So
It looks really good. I would give this a go. I'm gonna add it to my list.
absolutely. Yeah, I think it looks good. But I think it's laughable that they were surprised at the comparisons to Bioshock Infinite. Absolutely
so
laughable.
close though. Like
Mhm.
I don't think I can
Yeah.
do it.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, no.
And that's that. That is that. We're done talking about Xbox. The Starfield showcase was not part of that article, but do you guys want to move on to that next?
Yeah, I think that's I think we need to talk about Starfield again.
Oh gosh,
Yes.
yes, we do.
I do want to say that they are claiming that Starfield will have the fewest bugs of any Bethesda game. That was also my response, Rick.
No.
That was also my response.
They shouldn't try to get ahead of this. They should just let it happen.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Less bugs. Sure.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm. Yes.
Let them
It
happen. We're ready.
We want the game to be playable. We don't mind some bugs. You know, we're Bethesda players. We're used to bugs. We just want it to be playable at launch. We just not a high bar, so say.
Yeah, I saw that.
You're
You know what's
not
funny?
wrong.
What's funny is like all the games that have come out over the last like year and a half, I never really hear a lot about at work. There's a lot of gamers at work. In fact, every break period, there's 2 of them per day. There's always a Mario Kart competition going on.
Nice.
And so there's gamers, but I never hear them really talk about anything. But Starfield, I've seen more people talk about at work than anything else. And you know, there was one guy I was talking to today about it, and we brought up the bug thing, and he's like, yeah, but Bethesda bugs were always fun. And I said, absolutely.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing that I'm excited for. Like, I'm looking forward to like walking up to my starship and it just going up into the sky. And you're like, ah.
Yeah.
Guess
Yeah.
I'm stuck here for
I'm
a
looking
while.
forward to some of my NPCs sitting down inside of a table on my ship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you kill an enemy and they spaghetti all out. You know?
Yeah. And then their
That
arms are like
spaghetti
really,
glitch was
really
my
long.
favorite.
Yeah. And it's like that constant like
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those
noise,
bugs are
you know?
not what bother most of us. The things that bother most of us are the ones that make the game unplayable.
Right. Well, absolutely.
Yeah. Those.
So
tell me what you think about Starfield, Bender.
Impressions.
Tell me what you think about it.
Okay, so I still don't think it exists.
What? But we've seen it.
Okay, so my first impressions were this is like a beefed up version of No Man's Sky. Because they were like, you can travel to infinite possibilities in the galaxy, thousands of planets, and every planet is different, and there's creatures, and every time you land on a planet, there are things that you have to explore to fill some sort of compendium that you have. And you can build your own ships, and you can build your own settlements, and there's settlements that need your help, and all of this stuff. And I'm like, this is basically No Man's Sky, but better. And I'm not saying that in a disappointed way.
Mhm.
I'm just saying that I'm not necessarily sure if the idea is all that original.
Yeah, you are
Um,
definitely not the only one who has noticed the
yeah.
comparison to No Man's Sky.
And that's not a bad thing because I love No Man's Sky, which actually bolsters my interest for Starfield. Like I think that this is something that I'm gonna love to play, and like look, you can go hiking in the forest, in the mountains, on a planet,
Mm-hmm.
and just explore around. That's got me sold right there. That's it for me. That's all I want, right? I just want a beautiful game that is relaxing, something that I can immerse myself in. And then all of the other stuff that comes with it, the combat, the base building, the NPC relationships that you form, that's all perks. Um, that's bonus content for me personally, but I thought it was strikingly similar to No Man's Sky. I do even the abandoned mines and stuff, like
Yeah.
like there's all those abandoned things. I like that it's gonna be like there's not gonna be like an online aspect to this.
Yeah, this is
Mhm.
firmly a single player Bethesda RPG.
Yes. So I'm going to be able to play it the way I want to play it without interference from some random person stealing my whatever. Um I think the combat looks really great. That you can choose your combat style. If you want to do something
Yes.
stealthy, you can do that. If you want to go in guns blazing, that's an opportunity.
Id
Everything.
of Doom fame has actually been involved in the combat system for this game, which I think is great. Just really good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea that that you can choose a different sort of play style, and that's, I mean, what could be expected in any game. Um, I'm really curious to see what the character creation is going to be. They spent quite a bit of length in the exclusive talking about how
Mhm.
great the character creation is, and I'm like, but is there curly hair?
Yeah. I was
I
just
thought
thinking
the
about that.
same thing. Thank you. Thank you.
And is there more than two different makeup styles? Because if
Yes.
they right?
It doesn't matter. You're going to be wearing a helmet.
Yeah. So, I'm curious to see what that's going to be like. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You know, it's okay. Um, I wanted a game that was my space western. I've always talked about it. I don't know if this is it, but No Man's Sky was so good, and I wanted to like it more than I did. And the problem was the combat and just kind of the more cartoony-ish aspects of it.
Mhm.
And I wanted to get into Star Citizen, but Star Citizen has such a high paywall and such a pyramid scheme thing going on where they're like, we've raised so much more money than everyone else in our game, still in alpha. And so this to me is like the in between of that. Like, yeah, you've
Mhm.
got elements of No Man's Sky and you have elements of Star Citizen. And I couldn't ask for anything else. Can I get up and walk around my ship? You bet your sweet bippy I can. And I am so excited to just fly into space and stand up and
Yeah.
go to the galley,
Yeah.
talk with a
Mhm.
couple of people in the thing, go to the storage and just this is my spaceship. I can live in here. I can fly around in here and get in my cockpit and fly to my outpost. And my outpost is how I wanted it to. And the fact that you can customize your spaceship, it's just like, I don't know. There's a lot of things in it that I'm really excited for. And I don't think that you can make another space game without paying homage to No Man's Sky.
At this point, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is the golden eye of open world space games.
It
And
makes me wonder
everything
though,
after this
like
point is going to be like that, I think.
Starfield's been in development for how many years?
25 or 22.
So, are they actually the original idea?
It hasn't really been in
No,
development for 25
conceptually,
years.
sure.
It has been
Uh,
in Todd Howard's brain for 25 years. Like, it makes me
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
annoyed when they say, like, we've been working on this for 25 years. Bull fucky. You have not. You have not. You
Oh,
lie.
Shalene is really mad
You
now.
lie,
Yeah.
Todd Howard. You lie.
Well, no. Okay, look. I mean, maybe the story has been in development for like 25 years, and the
It's been in his
people, the
head for
races.
25 years. It's been in development for
Okay.
like 8.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of your expectations. Shalene?
Well, my thoughts on this game, I have no interest in base building. I have no interest in shipbuilding, but I can wear a cowboy hat and I can punch people to death and I can steal their sandwiches and make a big pile of sandwiches in my spaceship. And I want to do that.
Expectations, Rick?
Uh, I don't know, man. I okay. It's no secret in my life at this point that I am planning on getting the old snip snip, right? And so I've
I was not expecting that, but okay.
It took
hold
a
on.
very unexpected turn.
There's a reason for
Sharp
this.
left turn.
Reason for this. And the guys at work know about this, and I have to call to make the appointment and all that stuff and all that jazz. And then my coworker goes, dude, you need to make the appointment when Starfield comes out. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, you are so right. I'm getting the like I'm getting it cut like the day before it comes out or the day it comes out, and then I'm laid up for a day and a half just playing Starfield. Like I can't, my nuts are swole. So that's kind of my expectation. It's
It's
going to be
really
that
smart.
game where you guess, but it's one of the it's I just mean that it's that game where you take off work for it. You set aside a day or a day or two because you're like, everything else be damned, I am going to play this game for like the next 48 hours straight because it's going to be that immersive. I think that the world is going to be beautiful, and then it's going to be a lot going on, like a Fallout game.
I'm
There's
really
so
curious.
much to do when you
Yeah, like
start,
I'm really
so many
curious
directions
about
to
that,
go
right?
in.
Because they're talking about thousands of planets or over a
A
thousand
thousand
planets.
A
planets.
thousand.
Um,
And I think it's impossible that all of those planets are going to be interesting.
Oh,
no. Oh,
absolutely.
we can certainly expect some element of procedural generation, of course.
This is a
But
desert planet, and you're like, oh, cool.
yeah,
Leaving.
next. Um, and I mean, there's going to be completionists out there that have I hate all 1,000 planets. But like, how much of the settlements are going to have that sort of similar sort of feel to them, or are they going to be strikingly different enough that I'm going to be like, this was not said at the other settlement. This is
Mhm.
not the exact same dialogue. That is
Or
just,
are we just going to be passing
know,
dudes saying, hey, somebody stole your sweet roll?
yeah, yeah. So
Did we mind that though? It became a meme, but did we really mind it? Did that break our immersion in Skyrim? I don't really think it did.
I minded it in No Man's Sky.
Well, that's different though. But
When
I'm
when
referring
every
to.
I know, and I shouldn't be comparing it because it's a thing, but yeah, I like I'm really curious to see how diverse the worlds are going to be because they do
Mhm.
claim how intricate the cities are made. Like they're colossal cities, huge cities.
I think the planned ones are going to be really very
Mhm.
well thought out. It's the ones that like happen to just exist because they
Yeah.
did say this is procedurally generated in the sense that
Yeah.
like when I go to one planet, it's not going to be the same as the planet you go to.
I think one of the really
That scares me.
one of the really
Mhm.
beautiful things I think about Starfield for me right now is that what we're getting is going to be substantial, but the opportunities for growth within
Mhm.
this game over the next 10 years is incredible. Like the people who are working on Starfield are going to be employed for a long time, right? And
One,
there's so much DLC and so much
Mhm.
content that's going to come with this game
God,
after
I
the
hope so.
fact, hopefully, as a result of the diversity of that world, I think.
Mhm.
What were you going to say, Shalene?
One thing that I do want to talk about, and this goes back a little bit to character creator, but also very much applicable to the NPCs, is that they face scanned many, many people from many, many different ethnic backgrounds. And I people are actually going to look different and not just a browner version of the white guy.
I don't think that that's going to stop the community from somehow being offended.
I mean, I'm sure, but I appreciate that I can potentially maybe build a Hispanic character that looks like a Hispanic character and not just a slightly tan white character.
It
I
doesn't take
loved.
much to impress me. All I need in character creator is dick physics. That's all I need.
I don't think you're gonna get that.
I just want the cyberpunk dick physics,
Oh
okay?
my lord.
No, but seriously, I agree with you, Shalene. I think that you're right.
Well, what
Like
do we have? Is this playing on the screen right now?
I don't know what this is.
Because this is no
oh,
longer
this is
Starfield.
probably an ad.
Mad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is
We
no
got
longer Starfield.
there's spaced out
I
ads. Um the
I was go ahead.
no, go ahead, Rick.
I was gonna say I like the fact that the last like main Latino like character that I saw in a video game was from Cyberpunk, and he's like, "Eh, Holmes, eh, cholo, eh, cupa," and he's like
I
so
know.
overboard.
That was like the part at which I shut off Cyberpunk. I met that guy and I was like, I don't have time for
"Eh,
you.
¿qué pasa, man?"
I'm
You're like,
moving on with my life. I met that character and I was like, no, not today. Not today,
I think
Satan.
Starfield is a good example of the next generation of games that are coming.
yeah, everything, you know, the thing that I took from the idea of multicultural face scanning was that it's going to be homogenized, right?
Mhm.
Like you're going to see people that you don't know what they are or their
Yeah,
history
which
or their
is what the
background.
future will be.
And that's yeah, and like that's the goal, right? I mean, you
Mhm.
don't, you know, it's just so nebulous in the sense that it doesn't even matter anymore. And I like that. I mean, you know, there's no preconceived notions, and I think that what that can do is I hope that they kind of use that idea that we walk into these games with preconceived notions.
Yeah.
The world that this exists in doesn't have those. So it's going to be interesting to see like if we pick like dialogue choices that make us look stupid to them, but to us make sense, right? Um, Based on any sort of cultural situation. It'll be really interesting to see how that fleshes out because it does look like the dialogue system harkens back to more in-depth dialogue systems where depending on the perks and stats that you pick, it changes what you can say and what options that you have.
Yeah.
And so that'll be very exciting.
Where
I
I
also think we can't move on without briefly discussing the what's his name? The number one fan? What's
Hmm?
the
Oh,
admiring fan? The
the adoring
adoring
fan.
adoring fan? Yeah. So
So, Vend, are you familiar with this meme? What was it? Oblivion.
I think it was Oblivion, yeah.
Oblivion had this stupid little, what was he, a wood elf?
I don't know, but he looks exactly the same in this game, and they found the same
And
voice actor.
yeah, so he was this dude that came up to you out of nowhere sometimes and was like, "Hey, I'm an adoring fan," and he became a meme of like annoyance in Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Starfield, this guy
Oh, here
that
it
you're
is.
seeing right
Here it
now,
is.
this guy, he's apparently a trait that you can pick that he just follows you around the whole game. He's
Oh
so
my
annoying.
goodness.
But
So funny.
there was one video that somebody put up on YouTube where they took him to the highest peak in Oblivion and then just yeeted him off the side of it. And so in the Starfield trailer, you see they took him to a really high cliff and they went to yeet him and then
yeah,
cut it.
yeah.
It was paying homage to
So funny.
that adoring fan meme.
One of the
So
one of the
funny.
interesting things that I've noticed about this game is, and the things that I like, there's family.
Mm-hmm.
So your parents are still alive.
Oh yeah, you can have parents.
You know, and if you think back on every other Bethesda game, you're
You
this
don't have
this
parents.
lone person who either had your entire family murdered or they disappeared or you have to save them or whatever. In Starfield, your parents are just there. They're just there and you go and visit them. Like, you know, so that's cool. I also like that they did not include celebrity faces in the making of this
Ooh,
game
yeah, you're right.
because I think that would have detracted big time from the overall vision and mission of what they're trying to achieve. I do still think though that the story is going to be the weakest part of the game itself.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's where it's going to get its most criticism because Bethesda has spent a significant amount of time in development of the world, the mechanics, and everything else. What have they done with the story? They haven't really talked about it all that much. And when you watch the trailer for the exclusive, they they spend more time emphasizing the world and what you can do in it than the actual story itself. Maybe that is because they don't want to spoil it. And they do show you a little bit of the beginning of like how you know, get into space flight and leave the planet and start your journey.
Really though, do any of us play Bethesda games for the story?
Absolutely,
Really?
100%.
Really?
Of course. Why do you think Fallout 76 fell off so quickly for me?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good point. Okay.
So,
yeah,
Point
if you think about it,
taken.
Fallout 3 and New Vegas had good storylines.
New Vegas was spot on, right?
New Vegas is an Obsidian game, not a Bethesda game.
I know, but okay, fine, whatever. Look, nitpicker. My whole point, well, the thing Vendor brings up a good point about parents, right? What games had parents in them?
No games.
Let's
Alba.
see,
Wait, those were grandparents. Never mind.
Parents.
Mass Effect was the only one I can think of recently where like you could pick that your parents were like part of the Navy, and at one point you can call your mother.
Really?
Yeah.
You can call your mom?
Yeah.
Like GTA 5 is really the only game that I can think back on where
thought that was your aunt,
family
though.
was a thing, right?
I thought
Well, I
you
know,
named
but
your
then
aunt,
kids,
though.
the
though, not
other
your
side,
parents.
the other side of it, right? You had
Pokemon? You have a
his
mom in
wife and-
Pokemon?
Yeah, but she like kicks you out of the house so she can like
Yes.
fiddle around with Dr. Rope. So
like Cyberpunk, there was no family. You had no family.
no.
You have a mom in Animal Crossing? She sends you letters and gifts?
Okay. So there's like three games. Games take a real Disney approach to parents, man, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
There are
Anything
lots of
else?
orphans in video games.
Anything else with Starfield that you're hoping or that you're hoping not to happen?
Man, I just hope it doesn't have game breaking bugs. That's going to be the biggest detriment to that
You know what?
game.
You know what I hope it doesn't have? Microtransactions.
Ooh, they haven't said anything on that, have they?
They have not.
They haven't, but this is Microsoft we're talking about.
They've got micro in the name.
Mm-hmm. I don't want microtransactions.
If it's cosmetic, I'll allow it.
I don't.
But I don't want it.
Don't want them.
Are there rovers?
I mean, there has to be vehicles with the size of these planets. There has to be.
Right? The
I can
one
imagine
thing
you
that I
just waddle
noticed,
around.
Or
the
do
one
you just take your ship? Do you just
Yeah.
fly your ship
yeah,
over to the other side of the planet?
I don't know. The one thing that I did notice was that they had made mention to something about like when you land on a planet, there's X amount of things that you have to sort of discover or research if you want, if you're the completionist. But you don't have to explore the entire planet to find those things. You can just go within a small radius of where you landed. And I wonder how small of a radius are they really talking about? Are they going to make it like super easy for people to be able to complete these things? And then the other thing is, what kind of Easter eggs or references are they going to put in it? Are they?
Will there be a Nern route?
Right?
Oh, there better be.
Is there going to be a trash can Carla? Like, I want to know these things.
Fisto? I
Right?
want a Fisto.
I feel like I should name my trash can
Like
Carla.
Vasco, which is your robot companion. I feel like that's a bit of a nod to Deep Rock Galactic, because the robot companion in Deep Rock Galactic is called Bosco, and he's a robot. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that was just close, but
Close.
Could be a reach, but you never know.
Yeah.
Game developers love to give little nods to each other and references to
Mhm.
Yeah.
to other things that are going on in the culture. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if that's all the Starfield chat, I do have one final news article I would like to briefly discuss before we move on. So, Mass Effect, right? We love it. We've played Mass Effect. We enjoy it. BioWare made some new Mass Effect merch recently, and it was a statue from Mass Effect 2 from the opening section of Mass Effect 2. It was dead Commander Shepard.
What?
It was floating corpse Commander Shepard.
What?
And it's just the most random thing. Just like click through the article and look at this. It's female shepherd just like floating through space, being dead.
Why?
Why indeed? They claim that it was a conversation starter,
What?
but it's just a really, really strange decision. Why would you do dead floating Commander Shepard? It's so odd. And the internet got kind of fired up about it. They definitely got. I thought that the reaction to this was a little overblown, in my opinion.
No.
It's silly, but I mean, I am certainly not offended by the corpse of Commander Shepard. But they did pull it from the
Oh,
store.
wait. Sorry, from this angle on the one statue, it looked like her leg was gone.
Yeah, she's got both legs.
Daddy-o in the chat says, well, she died and was reborn by the Lazarus Project.
But indeed.
But
They did pull this from the store, and they released this little letter to the internet. Hi all. Earlier today, we announced the sale of our latest Mass Effect Shepard statue. This statue was intended to be part of a series commemorating some of the key and most emotional moments in the series. The way we announced it did not convey that properly, nor does it give the moment in the series the credit it deserves. As a result, we'll be pausing sales on the statue until we can share the larger plan with you. Thanks, BioWare Gear Store. And I really want to know who the target audience is for this statue. Who buys dead Commander Shepard statues?
oh, well, okay. If it was going to be a series, right, of like key moments, it makes sense. That was big.
It was huge.
I don't think any of us expected Shepard to die in the first 5 minutes of Mass Effect 2. And so, okay, I get it. But to lead with that, hey, we have a bunch of coins commemorating New York. And the first coin that we're going to release is the Twin Towers with the plane sticking out of it. And everyone's going to go, hold up. That was a key moment in New York's history, but maybe not lead off with that one.
What if we started with the Statue of Liberty instead?
Yeah, just something. Yeah.
Hey, if you put Jon Stewart's head on it, I will buy it.
So I just mean that,
oh my gosh.
If it's part of a series, sure. But leading with that one, yeah, you're right. That's a bit much.
It was such a weird choice.
It's tactless. It's tactless. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah.
I had to talk about that one. Okay. That's the news. Okay.
Oh, that's the news? All
right.
Oh
my gosh.
Well, you know what comes after the news? The stocks. As always, these prices are in comparison to last Friday's show, and if you missed that episode 150 with Tim Twig, go check it out. It's awesome. Sony closed out at $97.57, down 87 cents. Microsoft at $342.33, up $15.54 since last Friday. Nintendo closed out at $10.97, up 2 cents. Take-Two up $4.61 at $138.64. Activision closed out at $81.97, down $1.67. Ubisoft at $26.61, up 86 cents. EA at $128.66, up $2.72, and Tencent closed out $3.18 higher than the previous week at $45.81. So this is quite impressive gains for the past week, considering that last week when we had reported, everything was like significantly down.
I think the difference is E3 week. You know, it's not E3, but you know, game announcement week. Non-denominational game announcement week.
Yes, and of course, Microsoft stock, we would expect that $15 bump in stock. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the stocks. Yeah.
Thank you, vendor. I enjoy GameStock. What's next?
Mail stack.
You've got mail.
I forgot about that.
I'm waiting for the bumper.
Oh, you didn't hear it? I'll do it again.
You've got mail.
We do have a mail. It is from We do have a mail. Yes. Thank you. It is from RTZ, who says, "Happy Friday, y'all. I have a question for you. Sometimes games invent a language alongside the English commentary. Which one is the one where you felt like you learned another language during your playthrough and you understood the locals without the built-in dictionary? For me, it's the little old game called Outcast, which is basically Stargate.
That's a tough one. Rick,
That is a toughie.
did you catch that question?
Nope.
Video game languages that are part of the game, so they're not English.
They were invented for the game.
Invented for the game, which would be so substantial or impactful that you learned part of the language in playing it.
Ooh, I have no idea. That's a good one.
For me, it would probably be No Man's Sky. Because as you know, they have the glyphs, the stones, and each stone that you open or unlock, you learn a new language or a new word for the language of the. So at some points, I would actually be able to decipher what the dialogue actually was without knowing or having unlocked the English word.
That's really fun. That is really neat.
Man, I don't know.
I don't have any, I can't call up any examples of a time that I felt like I understood the fake language in the video
Maybe like
game.
Horizon Zero Dawn?
I didn't play enough Horizon to.
I don't think
know
that has
the
a fake language.
Does it
in
have fake language?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a fake language, but there's certainly an indigenous dialogue that's not English, I think.
Yeah, but
one thing that I definitely that always feels incredibly familiar to me is the way that Midna speaks in The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I definitely wasn't translating it, but I felt like I could read her tone. And I can hear it like in my head right now. I can absolutely immediately call up what her language sounded like.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Well, that's a great question, RTZ.
That was a really fun question.
Yeah. How can people write into the show if they have crazy questions like that?
You can write into the show by joining our Discord server, which you can do by clicking the link on our Twitch page at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. And in that Discord server, you will find a channel called Mail Stack. There's a little picture of a mailbox next to it. And just put your comment there, comment, question, whatever, and we will discuss it on the show.
And now for everybody's favorite part. Community screenshots and stories. As always, if you want to send or submit a screenshot, do so through our Discord in the Screenshots and Stories channel. I'm submitting this one this week. This is a screenshot bitmapped, but of our base in Astroneer. Jess and Hobbit and I, they're actually playing right now. This is my Astroneer window that is open, and as you can see, they're moving around in the background, building and playing.
I love it.
I didn't want to close the game because then they wouldn't be able to play while we're doing the show. So they're playing right now, but this is a screenshot of our base. And we hopped back into Astroneer, and it is just such a different game from when we played it a year. Like, I think the last time we played it was April 2021. And it's so good. It is so much fun. The terraform, it's the best terraforming I've ever seen in a game. It's incredible. And there's so much more to the game now in terms of story and stuff. There's all these different artifacts that you have to find, and there's companions now that you can have. You can put them on your pack. Anyways, I'll talk about that in a bit. Next screenshot. This is from you, Shalene.
Yes, I had to submit this one. So I got this amazing hat from this amazing hat designer, and it came with a pink wig and blue lipstick and some nice earrings. And it's a magnificent hat. I could wear this hat to the coronation, to the royal wedding, any of that type of thing.
This is the blue with the blue gems or the flowers. Yes.
They're like little mushrooms, I believe.
It's amazing.
I look so dapper. I'm just amazing.
And our last screenshot comes from Satyr. And Satyr says, hull scraping, a poor miner ship in Star Citizen. Salvage is not quite shipbreakers yet. Maybe in 4 or 5 years. but it's a nice, chill, enjoyable game loop. So, and he's for our audio listeners, he's in this beautiful emerald green ship that has two of these sort of, I don't know, blasters on the front of it, and he seems to be dismantling a ship in the background.
His screenshots are always so cool from this game.
Yeah, Star Citizen is pretty rad. That's screenshots and stories, but what have you guys been up to playing, Rick?
So I think the biggest game that I've played and finished recently was Jedi Survivor. And the biggest thing that I noticed right away starting the game up was the frame rate, or should I say lack thereof. And then they somehow made the combat clunkier. So the idea when you have a Souls-like game is the combat should be fluid enough to where you can kind of understand what the enemy's going to do. You know how long your dodge takes to complete and kind of the animation sequence of things, because that all plays into it. I mean, it's all about timing the games.
Right.
And they missed that mark. The combat is much clunkier than Jedi Fallen Order. It felt less refined. And the problem that I had with the combat mainly was you had all these perks that you could get, but I just found myself using like the heavy and light attacks, you know. Like, sure, I can throw my lightsaber like way far out and then bring it back, but like the times when that would really come in handy were much less. I wanted more crowd control and area effects than I did, like, you know. But that being said, the worlds that they built in that game were fantastic. The characters are fantastic. The opening, you know, mission that you're on with your crew is awesome and heartbreaking in a sense. And the old bonds that are reformed again are really good. And so they told a very good story throughout the entire length of this game, and it was like a good 60-70 hour game if you try to, like, you know, explore and find things and go back to old areas. I mean, you can spend a lot of time in this game. You know, you're playing in Jakku, which, or Jeddah, I forget which one. I think
Jakku
Jeddah.
is the one with in the new movies.
Right, they're both Jeddah and Jakku. Oh wait, Jeddah was in Rogue One, right? They blew it up with the they blew up that city. Okay. So you spend a lot of time in Jeddah, and you spend a lot of time in a couple different places that aren't in canon. Jeddah is the only one that's like involved in the movies, kind of. Other than that, they really stayed away from the canon of Star Wars, which was nice. It was
which
refreshing.
is smart.
Yeah. There is a little bit of a tie-in with the idea of Inquisitors and who the head Inquisitor is. But that part was epic, to say the least. That fight felt real good, and it was really interesting. The other problem that I had with the game is that, all right, so in Jedi Fallen Order, you're kind of this like fledgling, you're a Padawan essentially, and you're kind of learning skills as you go. You get reacquainted with the Force. So when you're fighting these Inquisitors, especially ones that have been trained by Darth Vader, it makes sense that you're on the back foot most of the fights. You're kind of just getting by getting your health stims from BD1, because your move set is nowhere near as good as the enemies, you know. But by Jedi Survivor, you're supposed to be more of a Jedi. And by the final boss, I had every single perk unlocked, and I felt like, yeah, I still can't keep up with this person who just all of a sudden got force powers 2/3 of the way through the game.
That doesn't feel great.
And like, it felt real weird. And there's times where you're fighting a bunch of enemies and you're like, I just want to like shoot this guy off the ledge. It's a droid. I just want to like pick him up and throw him. But you can't. You throw him, but he kind of like scoots off to the side, and like, I don't know, like you feel a little underpowered in some aspects of that game. And you do get a blaster, which is fun. You can run around with a lightsaber and a blaster because you aren't a Jedi. And that's one of the things that the game really works on, is like the idea of a Jedi Order, the fact that you aren't really a part of it anymore. And how do you grow beyond your entire life because that part is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some moments in that game where you wish choice was involved, but um you know I'm trying to think of how to say this. There's some parts of the Force that you shouldn't really get into as a Jedi, but because he's not a
Mm.
Jedi, there's some interesting happenings that go on, and it's really interesting. The story is good, and like there's a moment where you're like, man, the story is going to a crescendo, and it crescendos, and then it keeps going. But after the crescendo and it keeps going, it wraps itself up really quick, and the ending was really weird. So if you're a fan, I will say, if you're a fan of Star Wars and just the lore and stories in that universe, it is definitely well worth playing the Fallen Order and Survivor saga so far, because it's definitely going to be another one. There's definitely going to be
Mhm.
another game in that lineup, and there should be.
Mm-hmm.
Cal Kestis is a fun character. The characters that surround him are very fun characters. This kind of taps into the High Order, which a lot of the Star Wars lore and universe doesn't really get into much. And I like the idea that it doesn't really deal with the core storyline at all. And it's its own little thing. And I like that a lot. And,
I think that's what I really liked about Mandalorian as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
yeah, same thing. Same thing there. It's like a little offshoot. Like, yeah, the canon is there
I
because
thought
like
the
the Empire
worst parts
exists,
of The
but
Mandalorian were the ones that involved the canon.
Yeah.
okay, look, however, the finale of the first season or second season where Luke shows up, great.
Mhm.
Great. But the rest of it, yeah, I agree. Anyway, so that's Jedi Survivor. It's well worth playing if you can get it for cheap or free. The next game I've been playing is actually in early access. I tend to stay away from early access games, but this one kind of intrigued me. It's called SCP 5K. And apparently there's a wiki online, something about SCP, secure, contain, protect, or something. And it's basically a I can't remember what the website's called where people write scary stories.
Like creepy pastas.
Creepypasta. It's like creepypasta, but it's more moderated, I think, and more focused. And so this game called SCP-5K takes bits of that SCP lore and put it into a game. So it's survival shooter, very half-lifey, very half-lifey. But what attracted me to it was the fact that they tried to make the guns and the firing, the combat realistic. Even though you're fighting like supernatural monsters, your guns and the way that they operate and the way that you work them are realistic in a sense.
Interesting.
You have no HUD really, and so like if you shoot a bunch of rounds, you better reload, or else like you don't know how many bullets you have left in your magazine, kind of thing. And so anyway, and there's a couple game modes because it's in early access. You have a raid where you have to like blow up the enemy base and figure out different things, and then there's one where you have to like clear out bad guys that are shooting back at you and then collect intel. So they have a couple like small things set up that you can play just to kind of get the core mechanics, and it's a lot of fun so far. I mean, it definitely needs a lot of work, but I really like the Half-Life feel. Some of the sounds when you hit a button, you're like, it's very reminiscent of a Half-Life sound
Mhm.
effect, and the combat feels really good and solid when you get into a firefight with bad guys that you can't really see, because it's realistic and they're behind, bushes and you're behind a bush, and like, it's just hard to see. They did a really good job with it. And I think it's got a lot of potential. So I've been playing a lot of that. And then Diablo 4. I bought Diablo 4.
No kidding. Have you
Yeah,
played
I know.
Diablo in the past?
I've never played any Diablos. I'm not a
Okay.
big fan of ISOs. But a friend of mine and my wife's was like, it's a masterpiece. It's perfect. And I was like, well, it can't be that good. So then Sarah got it and she's like, it's pretty good. And then I got it and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good, isn't it? And right now, the biggest thing is it's very gory and demonic. And
That's why Tim
we're
likes it.
we're a little well, we're a little nervous about Evie seeing it because she gets very scared very easily.
Mhm.
Oh.
And so the other side of the coin is coworker of mine plays Diablo. I want to play Diablo. He wants to play Diablo. We wouldn't mind playing Diablo together, but Sarah is we cannot play this when Evie's around because this will give her nightmares and it will be a problem, which I agree. So I'm trying to figure out how to like get my way into playing this. And then the other day, my coworker is like, "You play Hunt, right?" I said, "Yeah, I play Hunt." He's like, "Do you play
Yeah,
Hunt with Evie around?" I said, "Yeah, I do play Hunt with Evie around." And then I went, "Huh, I wonder what the difference is because Hunt is terrifying."
it is.
I don't know
It
if that's
really
I don't know if
is.
that's an experiment worth trying. I don't.
So,
Oh no.
I asked Sarah. I said, "Hey, babe, we can't play Diablo when Evie's around, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just don't want that to happen." I was like, "But I play Hunt when Evie's around, and why is that okay? Because Hunt's terrifying." And Sarah goes, "Well, when I see you play Hunt, I see you in weeds a lot
Okay, she's
and
got a
moving
good
around,
point.
She's
and then
not
I see
wrong.
you, and then I see you die out of nowhere." And then I was like, "Savage." I told my coworker this. He's like, my coworker's like, "She basically told you you suck so bad that there's nothing that Evie's gonna see." And I was like, "Yeah,
Harsh but
yeah,
fair.
yep."
That's great. That's
Oh,
great.
that is
That's
just
great.
that's so good.
She's not wrong.
I miss playing Hunt. That was so
She's not
fun.
wrong.
I miss
A lot of
watching it.
a lot of my coworkers play Hunt, and one of my coworkers actually at one point he was like number 2 in the global stats for
Mhm.
being good at Hunt, and I've seen video clips of him play, and it's not funny. He'll take so he does things that like he'll just take a random shot past a wall, like he'll shoot into a house and he'll see the person run past the window and then shoot where he thinks they're going to be and then kill them or down them. And
Wow.
he'll go, "Yeah, I'm getting reported for that." Because it was just a shot. He's like, because he's like, this is where the head is.
Yeah.
And then if they just run past the window, they're probably going to be right there. So
Yeah.
He's
bullets go through the
estimating.
wall.
Yeah.
And he's
And
like,
it
"Yeah,
works.
I'm going to get reported for this because it was
I
through a
watch
wall."
I watch Necromi on Twitch play a lot of Hunt Showdown, and he's pretty good at it. And I don't know what it is. I just really enjoy watching Hunt. I think it's
Oh, it's so fun.
it harpens back to the PUBG days, I think, for me.
Have you played Hunt Thunder?
No.
I want to play Hunt with the two of you.
Yeah, I can't justify the $55 price tag.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
They're
Next
adding
time
some
it's
new
very cheap. I think we'll have to send you a copy and make this happen.
they're adding a new boss called Rotjaw, and apparently it's a roaming alligator boss. So if you're in swamps anywhere in the map, it could just kind of go, "Heyo." Or
I love it.
I think that there's different traps that you have to trigger it to happen. We're all kind of not sure how it's going to go down, but apparently after the show tonight, I'm supposed to play some Hunt with some friends, but I'm itching to play some Diablo 4 because it's actually a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm impressed with that dungeon crawling looter game, and yeah, it's fun. Anyway,
Great.
what about you, Vendor? What have you been playing?
Well, I'm actually literally playing Astroneer right now. For the first time
Are we not enough for you?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Rick has played video games while we've done the podcast. So, yes. Oh,
Unless
definitely.
we're live
That
streaming.
has definitely happened. No, I only have Astroneer up and running so that Jess and Hobbit can play because it's my session. It's a local session, so I've got to be on and my game has to be running for them to join and play. But yeah, so we've been playing a lot of Astroneer. We've hopped back into it. It is just so fun. You have little companions now. And you've got to try to capture them on different planets in the universe or in the galaxy that you're in. And the companions, they fit on your little pack in like a little jar. They're adorable. Actually, I could show you right now. So this is, see there you go. So the companions are in little tiny jars.
Oh, he's so cute.
And they serve certain purposes and things like that. So like this guy, for instance, I can give him a specific seed of a plant and his little pod will turn into like a work light, and he basically illuminates
That's
the whole
so
area.
cute.
There's other companions that help you find valuables, other companions that help you breathe oxygen, that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's really endearing. It's come a long way. We're certainly enjoying it, and we've reached a point in the gameplay where we're no longer struggling to survive.
Nice.
And we're gathering lots of resources and building lots of things and starting to explore the rest of the galaxy and visit all these planets and discover new things. And there's way more missions and stuff than there used to be. There's one mission where we've got to dig and bore to the center of the planet to find the planet's core. We have no idea how we're going to do that. I think we're going to have to like build like a drill or something. But yeah, so I've been playing some Astroneer. I set up a farm sim server by myself.
Ooh.
So we have a farm sim server on G-Portal, but we've been having all these lag spikes and issues with it over the last few weeks. Same BS that we dealt with a year ago when we had our farm sim server before we stopped playing because of all of the lag spikes and everything. And I thought to myself, I've got this laptop sitting here and I hardly use it. I'm going to turn it into a server for this. So I bought a second license of FarmSim. I did all the scripting and figured it out. And now it's running right now and it's super stable and we have no problems. So
Nice.
I don't know what the heck G-Portal is doing with their hardware, but they're having serious lag spike issues and we're not the only ones because it's all over the forums. So we're probably going to cut G-Portal loose. But that's all I've been up to. I've been wanting to play some Death Stranding, but it's been a super busy week with work and things. So what about you, Shalene? What have you been up to?
All Zelda all the time. so much Zelda. All I've been playing is Tears of the Kingdom. There is so much to do in this game. There is so much to do. And it's been a while since I've been on a video game like this. I'm putting a lot of time into this game. I'm taking the Switch to work with me in my purse
What?
and playing it on my lunch breaks.
That's very unlike you.
Last Saturday, I put in an 8-hour block of time.
Not unlike
You're
Shalene.
talking to. She used to bring her Xbox console with her to conferences.
I did, yeah.
I mean, sorry, Shalene. It's not unlike you. It's just something I haven't seen in
it's
a very
unlike
long
recent
time.
me. It is unlike recent me. And honestly, it feels great to be playing games like this again. And I started thinking about it, and I kind of feel like the stress that I had before I made all of these major life changes recently, kind of put me in a place where it took this away from me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like it killed part of me, and I have it back now, and it feels amazing. So this game hit at a good time where I was ready for it, and it feels good, you guys. It feels good.
Good.
I've been doing a lot of exploring.
Yeah, so tell us.
Yes, I met this dude named Kilton, who has been a character in previous games, and his brother, I forget the brother's name, Kelton maybe. And they love monsters, right? They love monsters. They think monsters are cool. And they gave me some monster hats. And so I wear the hats and I blend in with that type of monster. So I wear the bokoblin hat, and the bokoblins think I am one of them, right? They come up to me and they do not attack. They're like, "Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, how you doing?" And I can walk right through them and open their treasure chest and take their treasure and stroll out of camp like nobody's business. It's fantastic. And Link makes little piggy snorting noises when he's wearing the bokoblin hat, because they're like little piggy people. Stance in this wild bokoblin stance, and it's the funniest thing. It's so silly. And his brother Kelton wants to become a magical deer cryptid of some kind. So he's had me gathering up these gems from these like blue salamander things that you can find in caves. And so I've been like going out of my way to hunt them because I want more monster hats, you
Right.
guys. I want all the monster hats. So I've had fun with that. And speaking of fashion, I have come across some of the Bandit Misco quest lines, which were added in this was part of the DLC for Breath of the Wild, the Misco's Treasure. And now they're part of the main game in Tears of the Kingdom. And there are just all these different scenarios where you can find pieces of armor, and it's different challenges to get to them. There was one cave that I found that had a Misco's treasure chest in it, and these two dudes are sitting out in front of this cave, and they're like talking about, oh, how are there so many chests in there? It's ridiculous. This is crazy. We're never gonna find it. And this cave was full of chests. There were like 50 chests in this cave, hidden in the walls and in the ground, and each chest had 1 rupee in it.
Oh my gosh.
Except there was one chest with the armor piece. So it was so silly.
That's
It was
painful.
it was ridiculous.
That's funny.
And there was like a political moment. I felt like a very allegorical moment in Zelda. I've only met one Zora in the game so far, and the Zora are basically fish people, right?
Mhm.
And so I meet this Zora guy, and he's lying in a puddle of like tar, and I have to get some water and clean him off, basically. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is an oil spill in the ocean. This is an Exxon Mobil spill. I'm just and so the Zora's domain has been like corrupted by this oil spill. I haven't gone into the story yet. I just met the one guy,
Yeah.
but I thought it was incredibly allegorical for a Nintendo game to have this oil slick in the ocean. Are you serious? Are you serious, Nintendo?
They went there.
They did. They sure did. I had to wash his gills out. Just live, little fish man, live. They teased the Sky Islands so much in the lead up to this game. And I find it funny that I haven't actually spent that much time there in the Sky Islands.
Mhm.
But where I have spent a lot of time is the depths. And that is a part of the game that was not teased at all. This was new. And these caverns open up to this absolutely huge, terrifying place, and it's dark, and there are new threats, and it's just a terrifying place, and it's unmapped, and it's so scary. It's so scary down there in the depths, but it's really fun to explore, and it's so unexpected. There are new enemies, and in it's so have you ever played any Breath of the Wild? No, not really.
Bits of it.
The last Zelda for me was Zelda on Nintendo 64.
Yeah, the Ocarina time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The Zelda.
Well, there's this group of NPCs called the Yiga clan, and they really hate Link, right? Like they hate his guts, just hate him so much. And they like bananas. They love bananas. When you find their hideout, it's like Donkey Kong's banana horde. But they do this thing where they like to dress up in costumes and then ambush Link when he's not expecting it. And so randomly you'll be talking to a townsperson, and then suddenly, it's the Yiga clan. I'm fighting for my life.
Right.
And I hadn't met one of these guys. I'd been playing for about 30 hours, had not met a Yiga clan. And you know where I found the first one? In the depths, in the chasm. These guys have that much of a grudge that they went down into this horrible, terrifying place where the gloom literally robs you of your vitality, just drains the life right out of you. They sent somebody down there to wait for Link. They hate you that much. It's wild. I was so shocked to find one there. they've brought back Poe's souls. So once again, I am collecting the souls of the dead and exchanging them for goods and services. Uh, it's really fun to see some of the old enemies from older Zelda games, Octoroks and Likes. And I don't remember seeing those in Breath of the Wild. It might be that I just don't remember, but I know they were in some of the older games, but I don't think they were in Breath of the Wild. So it's fun to see them back in a modern game. I had this experience, you guys. I think, you know how there's the Bethintern from Bethesda who watches our show and does things that we suggest. Well, I think we may have a Nintendern.
No.
Yes, this quest was made for me. This quest, it was absolutely designed specifically for
This
me.
quest is your land. This quest is my land. Sorry.
And I'm gonna spoil the Hateno Village quest line. If that's important to anybody, skip the next 3 minutes. And I went to Hateno Village, and everybody's wearing these amazing hats, right? They're kind of mushroom style hats. They're mushroom shaped, and they're just astonishing hats. And I want one of these hats, right? And so I start talking to the people, and they tell me, yeah, you know, we have this amazing clothing designer, Cece. You should talk to Cece. You know, her clothes are the best. You will not be fashionable unless you've talked to Cece. And I talked to Cece, and she has on display in her shop that magnificent hat that I was wearing in the screenshot for the screenshots and stories. And Cece tells me basically like, oh, this hat is not for sale. I will only give it to someone who is truly worthy of this fashionable
You're like
piece
me.
of attire.
That's me.
I am
of
like,
all the people.
I will do anything to get that hat. I will do anything, literally anything. And the mayor of the town walks in. She has this encounter with the mayor of the town, and she challenges him to an election because that's how democracy works. And so I get embroiled in this election for small town mayor, which of course is
You're like,
it's starting to feel very much like my life. Hats and small town mayors. I won't go into all the side quests and how the story resolves, but I got my hat, and democracy was done. I genuinely felt like this quest was just for me.
oh, absolutely.
You know, it just
100%.
it was just for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The Nintendern was listening.
I was really annoyed because in the previous game, you have a house in Hateno Village. And the new game, it remembers my horses. When I go to the stable, they still have all my horses. So I thought, well, of course, I'm still going to have my house in Hateno Village. And I thought maybe I'll have to purchase it again. Maybe they'll do something like, hey, you know, your house was damaged in the upheaval. We're going to have to do some reconstruction. But they're all just acting like I never had this house. I can't find the house. So I'm homeless now. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. And there's one last encounter that I do want to mention before I quit. And I met this giant goddess statue, right? The goddess statues are a thing in the game. You can give them some magical orbs, and they give you heart containers or stamina vessels to make you healthier or give you more stamina. And I met a giant lady, right? Giant goddess lady. And I show up and I talk to her, and she's like, oh, swordsman, thank goodness you're here. And she tells me her problem. And usually when Link has dialogue with somebody, there's an option to just say, you know what, no, I don't have time for this, and walk away.
Yeah.
But in this case, that was not an option. She describes the problem, and Link is like, yes, ma'am, I will take care of that. Yes, ma'am, right away. So funny.
Okay.
He has respect for the goddess.
Giant. Yeah.
He was just like, yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay. I'll take care of that.
Yeah.
And there was no option. The option with the B button was another version of yes, ma'am. Okay. I'll get right on that.
Huh. I
With
want.
Fallout 4's dialogue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So is it a part of the main story that you can't really?
It's not part of the main story that I can tell so
Hmm.
far. I haven't done much of the main story, so it's possible. I'm pretty sure it's just a side quest,
Interesting.
but because of the lore, they made it so that he does not refuse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was really
That's
funny.
great.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Really been enjoying it. So much fun having this time with Zelda. I'm probably gonna go play it as soon as we get off the podcast.
I don't know. The Hat Mayor story is right up there with the Wheel of Cheese story. Like, I it's quite
I just
possibly.
right? Right?
Yes.
I mean, was there ever a quest in a game that was more me?
I don't know, because I feel like every time there's hats in a game, you're like, this game is for me, you guys. This game, they made it for me.
Okay, yeah, you have a good point. You have a good point.
Yeah. Well, it's been a marathon of a show, and I think that that is the perfect way to cap things off. We will say that, of course, we are sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you would like some fresh coffee in your cup every morning, head over to oakandcrow.com. Pick up a bag of We Just Love Coffee blend, and $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. You can send us an email at info@WeJustLoveGames, or you can post it in the MailStack channel in our Discord. Somehow we're also on Twitter at We Just Love Games. Shalene at Shalene, myself at Vendertron N. And then also on Facebook, facebook.com/We Just Love Games /group/We Just Love Games. And we record the show live, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time every Friday, twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. And I think, have we settled on a date for the Dames? A Dames date?
Yes, GameStack will be on July the 14th.
Excellent.
July
So
14th.
I
keep
gotta
that
be there for that.
keep that on your radar. Book it in your calendars. Dame Stack episode maybe 4, episode 3, July 14th. Don't forget our shows on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Please like, subscribe, and review. And the last word this evening will go to Rick.
Bye.
Really? That's
I
it?
didn't have anything
That
to
look
say.
of terror on his
Look
face.
of terror.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.